gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now.
So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Saker som kräver konstigt, beppar konstigt felina. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Hey there, welcome to Wanna Bet. I do not see myself on the screen. Beltway Ben, you're positive I'm good to go on the screen?
You're on the screen, yeah.
On the screen. All right, this is cool. I'm like Ghost. I'm like a poltergeist or something.
I see you. I see you on the screen.
Thank you very much, and I see everybody. And I hope everybody's ready to have a great betting weekend here with Wanna Bet. We welcome in Gab Goody. I think it's fair to say Cleveland sports Uber fan or Cleveland sports mega fan. You're Cleveland with FanDuel. You bet on everything, but how would you describe yourself as your Cleveland sports fandom?
I am a Cleveland sports fan sufferer.
Oh.
I think that's how you would describe all Cleveland sports fans, to be honest, at this point.
Yeah, super fan, and obviously does great work. The Carlos Baerga show, right? Everybody can see that. That's on YouTube. Where else is that's on? I see it on Twitter. I see it on.
Yeah,
YouTube.
you can get Twitter, YouTube. There's like Big Play. It's a thing in Cleveland. There's an app that you can do that onto. Wherever you want it, you can TikTok. It's there.
There we go. So Gab is across all platforms. We are basically across all platforms, and we've got a lot of bets we want to get to. If you're new to the show, first down, second down, third down, it's our three favorite bets of the day. Not necessarily on something that's happening tonight, but it could be tonight, could be in the future. But three things we feel strongest about. Third down's the money down in the NFL. That's our money down. Fourth and long, we usually look at a bet that you can't cash for a long time or a long shot. I dare say there's no bigger long shot in the NFL this year than the Cleveland Browns. Maybe the Saints.
Yeah, I mean, that's year after year.
Fair, right? Fair is fair. So we will discuss the Browns and how to bet the Browns in fourth and long. And then overtime, we will look at the Guardians, their playoff hopes, where things stand for them, any plays that Gab might make on the guards right now and that we might make. Before we get to today's bets, Beltway Ben, how did we do last night? So, yeah, I'm on a CFL game that doesn't happen until tonight, but those odds have been changing so much. I wanted to get in on that early. You guys know I've been all over the Gold Cup. That Canada number has changed again. Hope you got it when I got it. And I loved the Rays last night. Little hint, I love the Rays tonight. Beltway Ben, I know Lexi came close, right? She got stuck at 6.
Yeah, she missed a few threes late.
Yeah.
Missed a few threes, yeah. But it was tight. It was close.
Yeah, I was sweating it with you. It happens. That's why they call it gambling. You can look at our records here. If you've been following this show, we've been cashing for you, and that's what we want to do today. Gab, you are our special guest, our guest of honor. You have the honors. What is your first down bet of the day?
Stephen Kwan, one of my favorite baseball players.
Yes.
Over 1.5 total bases, 2 bases, whatever you want to say it. That man's getting on base right now.
Yes.
He always is, but especially right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about somebody with elite bat-to-ball skills, right? He swings and misses like
Rarely.
never. Elite whiff rates. He's got speed when he gets on base to make things happen and get in people's heads. Yeah, I mean, the Guardians' tepid offense kind of goes how he goes. Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
like one of the only players hitting the ball. In the last, I think, 6 games, he has 11 hits. So even if you guys wanted to do maybe 2 hits even, because I know that's a better value, could be potential there too.
Yeah, he's their catalyst, their glue guy. They need him in the worst way possible. And we'll discuss the Guardians as a baseball operation in overtime. Beltway Ben, first down. Where are we going?
Yeah, first down, I'm going to stick with the MLB. And I'm going to go with Shanawell over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 145. He's under this in 2 straight games, hitless in 2 straight, which isn't really normal for him. And he's only hitting 200 in his last 7. We get Neto back tonight, potentially, right? He's dealing with that shoulder injury, but they're listing him as day-to-day, which is good for my Angels futures prop. And they're only a game back of the playoffs, so we have a little bit of life there. But he's slashing 270, 372, 409 against right-handed pitching. And lefties are slashing 256, 311, 479 against Irvin. He usually has the wheels come off pretty early. And if we do get to that bullpen as early as I think we could, we know it's the worst bullpen in baseball. So I like Shanawell to go over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
I love it. Ben, about 2 weeks ago, gave out the Halos 18-1 to make the playoffs. And now here they are back to 500. They're
Yeah.
relatively healthy, assuming this Neto thing isn't too bad. And I like them to win that ball game tonight with Soriano on the mound. Don't look now. Soriano's been damn good for them. And I don't buy Jake Irvin, but you know what? Jake Irvin makes me look silly sometimes. So it's a small play for me, but I do like the Halos on the money line tonight. That is not my official first down bet, though. My first down bet, we're going Gold Cup, baby. I want you guys to have plays on all 4 of these Gold Cup matches this weekend. And Ben, I'm not going to be able to do a show Friday or Saturday. I'm going to be traveling to the Outer Banks. So I wanted to give you guys plays on all those games before we're out of pocket. I think Mexico scores at least 2 goals in this match against Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia showed no attacking thrust whatsoever in this whole tournament. They don't even pretend to really want to care about possession or scoring a goal. They do sit back pretty well, but remember, they're without 8 of their regulars who are in the World Club Championship. They're playing a 25-year-old keeper who runs around like a chicken with his head cut off and does not have much international experience. It hasn't hurt them yet, but I do think it will hurt them against Mexico in a do-or-die match in a knockout stage being played in Arizona where they're going to have a huge crowd behind them. You don't have to worry about the heat and all that stuff, right? It's indoors. It's on a surface that Mexico's very familiar with. They play there a lot, much more than Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a guest team in the Gold Cup. They've been on the road for 2 weeks. It's a C team kind of roster. I think they're ready to go home and enjoy their time off before they go back to their club teams. It's a much bigger match for Mexico. And if you look at Mexico, they've had bad luck in this tournament, right? They've hit some posts. They've had some goals that look to be clear goals, called back on offsides. But I like what I'm seeing out of Santi. I like what I'm seeing out of Raul. They've scored 2 goals or more in 7 of their last 10 matches. They've scored 2 goals or more in 6 of their last 8 against CONCACAF opponents. I know Saudi Arabia is a guest team in this tournament. They're not a CONCACAF side. They've certainly played like a CONCACAF side. So I really like the value there in Mexico to score at least 2 goals against Saudi Arabia. I also think they probably win that match 2-0 if you're into that kind of thing. All right, Beltway Ben, second down.
Yeah, second down, I'm going to stick with the MLB. We'll go with another prop here. Jose Barrios over 5.5 strikeouts. And plus 128, so you're getting good money here, but it's also because he's cleared it in just 5 of 16 starts this season. But one of those was against Boston at the beginning of May where he struck out 9. In the last month, Boston has a 27.8% K rate against right-handed pitching. That is the highest in the MLB. It's in Boston, divisional matchup at Fenway. You have to think Barrios is going to be kind of tuned up for this one. And I see a lot of people on his outs, and usually in days where I see like everybody on something, it doesn't usually cash. So I did like his strikeouts heading into the day, and I do lean his outs. But again, like when I see everybody on something, I'm always like, I know how this one ends. So I just like his strikeouts over 5.5 and plus 128.
Yeah, if everybody was always winning, then these the FanDuels of the world wouldn't be doing as well as they're doing.
Right.
Second down for me, I'm going to get my final soccer bet of the week in. Look, I love Panama. If you've been watching the show, we've made a lot of money on Panama. I think Panama's been undervalued in this whole tournament. And I told you guys coming off last weekend, grab Panama at 12 to 15 to 1 to win the Gold Cup. That's sort of where it was hovering in gambling markets then. They'd have to get through Mexico to win it. But in the meantime, they're set up for success here, I strongly believe. Against the Honduras team that allowed 6 goals to Canada in its first match. So look, I played this at the beginning of the week. Panama minus 1.5 at plus 160. You can get that at plus 170 now. My official play for the show today is just take Panama on the money line minus 155 and play it safe. But this is a Panama team that's been great up front. They've got the odds-on winner, or at least the leading goal scorer in the tournament, to win the Golden Boot. Like, you look at what Panama's done against elite competition, and that's not Honduras. I mean, this is a Panama team that beat the U.S. In the Copa America. This is a Panama team that scored in 10 straight matches. This is a Panama team that's been able to turn on the attack and also play with a fair amount of consistency in the back. Yeah, it gets a little crazy at times, but I think all in all, they've held their shape. They know who they are. And what I really love about them is they've been scoring early in these matches. And when you have the superior talent, you have the superior depth, and you're able to put that lesser team down 1-0 in the first 30 minutes, it goes a long way, especially as we get deeper into this tournament and the grind really starts to affect them. Honduras, this is not a great Honduras side for me. I've watched CONCACAF football for 40 years. This is not peak Honduras. They haven't shown a whole lot of creativity up front, and I think they can be exploited in the back. So I think there's real value on Panama to win this match. And do I think if that happens, could Panama beat Mexico in the semifinals? I think they could. Gab, second down. Where are you?
Is this where I'm going with my Cleveland Guardians? I feel like that's a bit of a stretch for you guys. You guys are going to be like, this girl is crazy to talk about them making the playoffs right now.
No, let's go.
But, I mean, am I going to be a homer? Of course I'm going to be a homer. Why would I not? That's my favorite team out of all the Cleveland teams. But the Cleveland Guardians have the potential to make the playoffs for a couple of reasons. One, Shane Bieber isn't back yet. We don't know what's going to happen with him. And when he does come back, I am hoping, because we're seeing post-Tommy John surgeries now, pitchers have been a little bit better. So that'd be great to have an ace back. The starting rotation is finally coming together. If we can just get some consistent hitting, I think this team can put the pieces together to do it. They're in a weak division. The AL Central, I know we always say it every single year. They're a better team than the Twins. They're a better team than the Royals, and they're clearly a better team than the White Sox. I think that they're a better team than the Mariners, and the Cleveland Guardians are half a game out of a wild card spot right now. Also, they've had the third toughest schedule so far this season, so maybe we could get a couple more wins. I don't know. Will I be delusional for them? Always. But I think they're a good little ball club if they want to be.
I have some thoughts. Ben has some thoughts. We will save them for overtime.
I mean, I have some thoughts too that I could say like some crazy.
No, we will get deeper into the Guardians in overtime. Don't you worry. Look, I feel for Cleveland sports fans. I hope you're right.
You know what? I hope
you're
I'm
right.
But
I hope you're right. I'd rather see them go than the Blue Jays and some other teams. Sorry, Joe Madden, who we had on yesterday, although she doesn't think the Blue Jays are going to the playoffs.
I don't know. They almost fought yesterday. They almost fought my team yesterday. So who's to say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, third down. I am going MLB here, guys, and I am going to continue to ride the Rays on the run line. I don't think Vegas is showing them nearly enough respect. I think Beltway Ben knows how to play this game. We'll see if Gab does. Guys, do you know which team in MLB is far and away the best on the run line on the road? Who do you guys think the number one team in the majors is and cashing on the run line on the road?
Well, you're giving me some vibes right here that I need to say the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Who knew? Who knew that the Cleveland Guardians farm team would be off and away? Half the players are from there at this point.
Yeah, Caminero. Holy moly.
Don't even start. Yandy, all of them. Tough
he hit
whole lineup.
Junior, if you're not keeping score at home, hit home run number 20.
Oh, yeah,
yesterday.
He's incredible. Of course he is.
Yes.
Why would he not be?
Yes. So also, if you're scoring at home, we are talking the Rays 22-9 on the run line on the road. Remember, they played few. They had that weird schedule because they're playing in the AA ballpark, so they had a lot of home games early. So they're just getting caught up on the road. It's not slowing them down. They're 11-3 on the run line overall their last 14 games. They've cashed on the run line 12 of their last 13 road games. Now, here is part 2 of my exam. Who do you think is the worst team in the majors on the run line at home? They happen to be hosting the – well, I don't want to give too much away. Who do you think is the worst team on the run line at home in the majors?
Got to be the Orioles.
Beltway Ben, you're a fast study, baby. Yes, it is. It is the Rays' opponent tonight, the Orioles. How bad are the Orioles on the run line at home, you ask?
The Rockies?
Worse.
Oh,
12-26 on the run line at home are the Baltimore Orioles. They've got Sagano on the bump tonight. You might look at his numbers and say, hey, for a 35-year-old dude who's never pitched in the majors before from Japan, he's doing okay. Except he gets no swing and miss. His walk rates are elevating, and as the temperatures change, the home run ball has soared. His last 4 starts, 12 2/3, 9 earned runs, 6 walks, 21 hits. Pepio's on the bump for the Rays tonight. How did Pepio do the last time he faced the Orioles a week ago? 8 innings, 11 Ks, 1 earned. Pretty good. The Rays will run all over the Orioles catchers. Doesn't matter if it's Trump. Doesn't matter if it's Sanchez. They cannot control the run game. Their pitchers can't control the run game. The Orioles bullpen starting to crack because the starters are so bad that they can't cover enough innings. I love everything the Rays do to generate runs. It's a multifaceted offense, and I just don't think Vegas is giving them enough respect. So that's where I am. Gab, third down, where are you?
Oh, is this my Patrick Mahomes? Is this where we're going Mahomes right now?
Yes,
oh,
we are.
man. Okay, see, now every time I'm saying it, it's like more outrageous than what you guys are saying. So I set myself up here, I fear. Patrick Mahomes for MVP, and it's nothing more than the fact that I think he's going to be on a revenge season. I think he has something to prove. I think he kind of gets like a LeBron treatment in the NFL. Like LeBron, he could have won MVP multiple times, but like he's the best of the best. If he's not playing better than he ever has, he's not winning, someone else is going to. Patrick Mahomes just came off a Super Bowl loss. They were the meme of the NFL for a little bit. I
Yeah.
think he has a lot to prove. And I think it's going to be a really good season for him.
Yeah, I like the way the schedule sets up for them. He is an assassin, and you're right. Andy Reid's like Belichick. These teams where you'd say, what is their motivation? What could their motivation be? They're a dynasty, and then they find ways to find these little slights, right?
Yeah.
Like, and these little perceived slights. And
Right.
I look, I don't care what happened in the Super Bowl. I don't fade Mahomes and Andy Reid when it counts. So revenge tour, I'm here for it.
This is what's going to happen. This is how I'm going to plan it out. It's going to be Chiefs amazing season. Patrick Mahomes wins MVP. They go into the Super Bowl. He wins Super Bowl MVP. Travis Kelce has like 3 touchdowns. At the end, proposes to Taylor Swift on the field, calls a retirement right there, and then it's done.
Ratings bonanza. I don't know
Yeah.
who's broadcasting the Super Bowl this year, but if that happens, man,
It's going to do numbers.
they're going to sell a lot of ads. All right, Beltway, Ben, bring us home on third down. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the MLB here. I like the Mets on the money line, minus 148, a little bit of juice, but talked about it yesterday with the Mets. Like, they have to start turning things around in this division race. They were able to tie the series with the Braves, which was big for them. Facing Mitch Keller tonight, 4.58 ERA at PNC Park, and he's 0-7 there. David Peterson's been really good for the Mets, and we're slowly starting to see a lot of their starters go down, which is unfortunate. We saw Canning probably tear his Achilles last night, which was awful, and he had been pitching pretty good for them. They turned him into something after some struggles in LA, but I do think that they shut down this Pirates lineup tonight. 595 OPS against left-handed pitching, 4th worst in the MLB this month. So I think the Mets shut them down, and their offense can always turn it on at any moment. And they also have a lot of familiarity with Mitch Keller in that lineup. So I like the Mets on the money line at minus 148.
Yeah, it's crazy to see, like, in the span of a week, right? We've seen Canning go down on the mound in a game. We saw Senga, right, go down on the mound in a game when he was dealing. We'll see if they get Manaea and some of their other arms that are out. And I think the Mets will be probably major buyers for arms at the deadline. All right, that brings us to fourth and down. It's time to discuss the dog pound here and the Cleveland Browns. Gab, you're the eternal optimist, but like Vegas is looking at them at 5.5 wins. If you want to go to the alt markets, you can get them as low as under 3.5 wins for plus money, big plus money there. I'm personally waiting for the markets to form on last team to win a game, because I think it very well could be them and not the Saints, because I think the Saints suck too, but like the Saints schedule is not as brutal as the Browns. So like, is there any optimism there? Who's the quarterback going to be? Where are you? What are you thinking about your Browns?
See, they might as well set a line that says over under 3.5 quarterbacks to start the season. That might be better than the wins. Like, you would probably hit the over on that before you hit the wins. The defense for the Browns, okay, that's like a strong suit, kind of struggled a bit last year. So the defense can kind of keep them into games, but do they want to win games this year? I know that's crazy to say, but like, do they? I don't know. And who's going to go out there? I mean, Joe Flacco, I assume, is going to be.
Yes.
Starting. He has to be. You have to put Joe Flacco out there. I think they're going to get rid of Kenny Pickett. Somehow Kenny Pickett's not going to be on this roster. Can't really get rid of Shedeur Sanders. I think that would be a lot of drama. You already have enough drama as it is with the Cleveland Browns. So getting rid of Shedeur will like add to that. Deshaun Watson's still on the roster. Who's to say if he goes out there, could possibly be eventually at the end of the season. I don't know. If they did that, though, it probably would be the worst thing they could ever do. But no, I don't see this football team winning many games.
Yeah.
Or trying to, at least.
Yeah. Again, their normal number here in markets is 5.5. The only team with a lower standard win total is the Saints at 4.5. And but wait, Ben, before you ask Gab a question, I just want to give you guys the Browns schedule to start the season.
Brutal.
Host the Bengals at the Ravens. Host the Packers at the Lions. Host the Vikings at the Steelers. Host Miami at New England. That's the first half of the schedule. Now, look, I'm not saying that Miami is a juggernaut. Minnesota early with a rookie quarterback, like maybe they're vulnerable, but I personally could also see a scenario where they're 0-7 or 0-8 or something like that. So I do kind of like the under 3.5, and if they do go into tank mode, like Gab sort of said, could be the case. And I'm going to definitely play them as the last team to win a game. I have not been able to find that yet, but you'll definitely be able to find, last team to win and then like last team to lose, like longest undefeated team. Those markets will form
Okay, but now that I'm thinking about it, though, now that we said the schedule out loud, they are playing the Bengals first. That's at home, correct? In
Yes,
Cleveland?
they host the Bengals, and the Bengals start slow.
And
Joe struggles there.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about the Browns and the Bengals playing in Cleveland, but they won like 7 of those games in a row. The Bengals finally won one when Deshaun Watson's Achilles tore in the middle of the game, but like that one could be sneaky, but other than that, it looks like a lot of losses.
So maybe wait. You could always wait or put a little bit on it now, and then just make sure that they don't like somehow own Joe Burrow again, and then get on it. You'll still be able to get pretty good value. Beltway Ben, any Browns questions for Gab?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about the draft, right? Not taking Travis Hunter when everybody felt like he was the guy, and that would be franchise changer. Moving back from Mason Graham, how did you feel about that? Did you want Travis Hunter to be in Cleveland, or did you not really care too much?
No, of course I wanted Travis Hunter to be in Cleveland. Like the vibes on that team, I'm a big vibes person, and like when you're watching them, like not enjoyable experience. So why not bring in players that are very good, but also good personality, things that fans would be excited about? Because I think they need a lot of good PR with the current team that they have. And then they go and do that. And then they draft Dylan Gabriel. I don't know. That was a crazy one too.
Yeah. I don't feel like there's a whole lot to be excited about with the Cleveland Browns right now, other than
Myles
fading.
Garrett extension. But like he also said, I'm leaving. Clearly,
he
wrote a letter and said, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Well, it was like Deshaun Watson, right? He wanted to go to Atlanta. We're just going to keep throwing money at you till you rescind your stance and take our Confederate money, even though you don't want to, and play for us. Yeah. It's something. All right. Well, we're gonna close with a little more optimism for Gab.
Okay.
Here, because she already let you know she likes her Guardians to make the playoffs, and the Vegas doesn't think that's going to happen. So
is it delusional? Yes.
Overtime, what would we do with the Guardians? Now, the flip side of this is minus 190 to miss the playoffs. Here's where my concerns lie, Gab. Here's where my concerns lie with the Guardians primarily. Since May the 1st, the Guardians have a 228 batting average. That is 28th in Major League Baseball. They have a 301 on base, which surprises me because that's really, they're about getting on base. Like, that's their thing. Mm-hmm. They're 28th in on base since May 1st. Not a lot of slug. We knew that when they got rid of Naylor and you kind of knew, okay, that's going to – but a 360 slug since May 1st, that's 27th. That comes out to a 667 OPS, 27th in the majors since May the 1st. I don't think they're going to buy bats to you, so make the case for how the run production improves.
They're going to call up Chase DeLauter. They should have done that last week. They should have done that 3 weeks ago. They should have done it at the beginning of the season, but I'm not in charge, so I'm not here to make those decisions. Yeah. They're going to call up Chase DeLauter. He's going to play. We're going to probably trade Emmanuel Clase, bring in some pieces from there. I mean, I really like Clase. I like what he's done, but I think the Guardians bullpen has enough arms to get through without, and that's a good contract that a team would want to take. Sure. Yeah. Trade him, get some things out of that. I think they're probably going to try to shop Lane Thomas too, get some return from that. And then I'm just banking on everyone else not being good.
Yeah. Well,
and the schedule gets easier. It's a little easier.
Well, you look at the field right now. I mean, Vegas thought the Orioles were a 90-win team. They're going to be a 90-loss team. Nobody's buying the Blue Jays. I mean, the Blue Jays manager should have been fired 5 different times in the past. They're hot right now, but I just don't think they'll stay consistently good. Out west, I mean, it looks like the Astros and everybody else is kind of fugazi. And the Royals have regressed, and
the Royals. Oh my God! I saw a post today that said the Savannah Bananas have the same amount of wins in Kauffman Stadium in the month of June as the Royals. Just
wow. Yeah, and they couldn't do anything against the Rays, and they might be sellers. So I can't get there on this. I'm also not fading them. I'm not, minus 190 to say they don't make it. They are scrappy. They seem to love playing for the manager. They have a history of exceeding expectations. But wait, Ben, are you dabbling in any Guardians markets here?
I'm not, like you said, I'm not playing. I'm not going to fade it or take it. Of course, I need the Angels, which are half a game behind. And the thing that makes me –
you're going to punt on it with Adam Gase.
It's a semi-punt, though. It's a semi-Adam Gase punt. It's not fully – just because the 2 teams ahead, right? The Mariners, we know what the Mariners are. They're going to score 3 runs and hope that works. And this year, they're really starting to get hit by the pitching injuries. Toronto's 2 games up. Like, I'm not buying them. Schneider will find a way to mess that up. And really, when you look at their lineup, the only 2 guys that scare you are Bichette and Vladdy. And I understand Springer's having a good year, but I'm not buying that to last all season. And Santander is still hurt. So I think they could sneak in. And last year at the deadline, they did buy, right, Cobb, the injury, whatever. But Thomas, who didn't help them a ton during the regular season, but once they got in the playoffs, is when he turned it on. So could they buy? Yeah. With a half a game back, I just don't really know how to fully play this. So I'd stay away, but I would lean them getting in just because the 2 teams ahead of them. I think the Rays are far and away. If they don't win the division and the Yankees drop in, one of those 2 will be the top wild card team. But the other 2, I think, are still up for grabs.
Yeah. They develop pitching so well, and the Orioles develop no pitching. Like, I wonder, Ryan O'Hearn, you know what I mean? Ryan O'Hearn would be an interesting bat for them.
Man, the Orioles, that's a I don't know. That's bad.
Oh, yeah. They need to fire people.
ASAP. Did they not? I thought they did.
They just fired the manager, but he was a puppet for the GM. They need to fire the GM. Fire Mike Elias. # fire Mike Elias. Gab, we really appreciate you playing our reindeer games here. Let everybody know again where they can find you, your content, your shows, your bets, the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah, you guys can find me. It's across every single platform, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, anything, at GABBGOUDY. And you find that on all things. I'll be yapping about Cleveland sports. I'll be complaining about Cleveland sports, and basically any sport. I'll probably be there complaining and giving opinions.
Yeah, we'll have to get into the Cavs at some point down the road too. Some people think the Cavs to win the East now with everything that's going on, like all these injuries and stuff.
They should.
They probably should. And for the sake of everybody in the land, as much as they suffer, I hope better times are ahead. Beltway, Ben and I, like I said, we won't be doing the show this weekend. I'll be driving to the Outer Banks and going to a minor league game in Norfolk with my kids. And but we'll be back on Monday with Eric Casillas, who's been crushing it with us. Ben and I'll do the show from the beach all next week. So we will be at noon. I think all next week. We'll certainly be doing it probably at noon. And we will be posting some bets through the weekend as well. And look, all my plays, all Ben's plays, all Eric Casillas plays in real time as we make them in real life. We're putting them in the Super Discord. You can sign up for the Super Discord. Just look in my Twitter feed where you're watching the show right now, and the link tree is there. We thank you, Gab. We thank everybody for tuning in, and we're already fired up to do this again on Monday on Wanna Bet.